Hello Year 6, welcome to your literacy video for Thursday and happy World Book Day. Okay, so today is World Book Day. So before we get started on our literacy work for today, I have got a little challenge for you just before we get started. So it's a World Book Day themed challenge, okay, and it's a scavenger hunt using the books that you've got at home, because I'm sure most of you have got a good few storybooks or reading books that you could have a look through, okay? And the scavenger hunt then, so it gives you an item that you've got to try and find inside some books, okay? So the first one is a witch, okay? So it can be any book, and then it says book in which it was found. So if you find a book in your house that's got a witch in, you write the title in there, the page number that it says witch on, and whether it was a word, a picture, or was it both. So you can find a picture of a witch if you want to, and then you could write picture in there, okay? You haven't got to find them all, obviously, because you might not have all of those in the books that you've got at home, because I'm sure you haven't all got a library at home. So it's fine if you haven't got them all, but just see how many you can get. So I'll send a picture of the full sheet out with your Marvellous Me link for your literacy video this morning. Okay, so I'll look forward to seeing who has managed to find some things from the scavenger hunt using the books in their house. Okay, if you've got some siblings, you've got some brothers or sisters, maybe little brothers or sisters, they might have some storybooks that you could have a look through. I mean, I don't even mind if you want to make up your own scavenger hunt. That's fine as well. Just let's celebrate some really good books ready for World Book Day today. Okay, so we've got our readathon going on all day today. So you can follow the Teams link that we've sent out on Marvellous Me today as well. And there's teachers reading stories all day. Okay, me, Mrs. Carter and Mrs. Heavey are towards the end of the day, around 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 o'clock. So if you want to see us, then log on around then. But there's teachers from all over the school reading stories all day. So make sure you log on and see a few of them. Okay, so your work for today then, your learning question is, can I answer inference questions confidently? Okay, so we've done lots and lots of work over the last couple of weeks on answering inference questions, but now I want you to have a go a little bit more independently. I am going to still go through a couple of them with you and give you a few hints and tips, but really by now we've done lots and lots of reading comprehensions. We should really have a good idea now of what we're doing. So we're moving on to pages 12 and 13. So if you have got the Lion book, we're still in this one, okay, and it's called Armoured Dinosaurs. Sounds very interesting, especially if you're interested in dinosaurs. So it says, even though dinosaurs became extinct around 65 million years ago, scientists are still uncovering new facts about them. Some dinosaurs had their own body armour to protect them from attacks. This extract looks at the different types of body armour and why they were so effective. It's going to be very interesting, I think. Okay, so you have a read through there then. Remember, like we do with every reading comprehension, any words you're not sure of, highlight them, underline them, go onto dictionary.com and find out what they mean. Okay, remember, your understanding of the text is really, really important to help you answer the questions. So you do that first. We haven't got a glossary today, so you don't need to worry about that. Just have a look, because I think there will definitely be some words in here that we're not sure of. So for example, straight away, I can see the word predator. We might not all be 100% sure about what a predator is. Some of you might know. But if you don't, go on to dictionary.com, type predator in, see what comes up. But remember also, only copy down in your notes anything off dictionary.com that you understand. It's a bit pointless copying down something you don't understand, because then that's not going to help you understand the word, is it? Okay, so you do that first. Let's have a look at some of your questions. So, question 1 says, why do you think fighting a dinosaur with body armour wasn't a task for the faint-hearted? Okay, so if it says it's not for the faint-hearted, then it's not going to be easy. Let's have a look what it says. So I've snipped the bit where it says that. So it says, one of the most effective forms of protection was body armour. Some dinosaurs developed protective plates, horns, spikes, or clubs on the outside of their bodies to defend themselves against predators. Even if the appearance of this armour wasn't enough to put off an attacker, trying to fight through jagged spikes wasn't a task for the faint-hearted. So I know you won't be able to see this very well on the board, but make sure you've got your text in front of you so you can read it as we go. So it says here, trying to fight through jagged spikes. That does not sound easy. That sounds like it's going to be a challenge. Okay, so what kind of person do you think you have to be to tackle that? I'd say you've got to be pretty brave. Okay, so your answer just needs to say something about the task wouldn't have been easy, or it would have been a challenge. So you would have to be a very brave, or you could even use a better word, and you could say courageous, a very courageous person. Okay, so use something like that to help you answer question 1. Question 2 says, why has the author put the words, let's have a go at saying this, ankylosauruses and stegosauruses in bold? So here, at the top of your paragraphs here, they are in bold. Why do you think that is? What do you think the author is helping the reader to do? So if you were looking at this text and you wanted to find out straight away about stegosauruses, what does that bold writing help you to do? Have a think about that. Question 3 then says, read lines 10 to 20. Give 2 ways that the body armour of an ankylosaurus and the body armour of a stegosaurus were similar. Remember, when 2 things are similar, they are either the same or nearly the same. Okay, so just to make it a little easier, I have got a little table ready. So I've got one side of ankylosaurus, one side for stegosaurus. Okay, but we want 2 ways. So I'm going to do 1 way with you, and then I want you to have a look at the text and see if you can find another one. So it says, give 2 ways that the body armour of an ankylosaurus and the body armour were similar. So I'm talking about the body armour. So I've snipped the paragraph about ankylosauruses and the paragraph about stegosauruses, and I'm going to have a good look, have a good read. Okay, so it says here, lethal spikes ran in rows down the dinosaur's back and tail. It says here, have a look. 4 savage spikes sticking out of the end of their tail. So they've both got spikes. Okay, so let's write. I'm just going to write it in note form. I don't need to write a full sentence. So they've both got spikes in their tail, haven't they? Okay, and that's one thing that they've both got. That would be your first part of your answer. Okay, so you could write, they have both got spikes in their tail. And you need to see if you can find another one, because remember the question asked us for 2 ways that their body armour is similar. Okay, so you can just fill this in as you go. So if I was you, I'd read the ankylosaurus. So it says they've got scutes which cover their head, so you could write that in that side. Stegosaurus says they've got large diamond-shaped plates down their back, so you could write that in that side. And then once you've got them all written in, you'll be able to see which ones are the same. Okay, so you have a go at finishing that one. Number 4 says, what does the word intimidated in line 18 mean? Use a dictionary to help you. Now, we use the word intimidated quite a lot in our creative writing, so I think you might already know. So go back to the line 18 where it says it is. Let's have a look what the sentence says. It says, these plates stuck out at an angle on either side of their spine, which intimidated predators looking to launch an attack. What do you think they were trying to do? What do you think they're trying to do to their predators? They're certainly not welcoming them, are they? What do you think they're trying to do to their predators? Have a think, and then if you're not sure, go on to dictionary.com and have a look what intimidated means, but have a go first. Number 5 then says, according to the text, why couldn't stegosauruses run quickly? Okay, so it says according to the text. So that doesn't mean use your own knowledge of why stegosauruses couldn't run. That means it's going to be in here for you. So I have snipped lines 21 to 23. So that's your hint. Have a look in there. So it says, both of these dinosaurs could grow to be the length of a bus. This, coupled with the weight of their armour, meant that they found it difficult to run away quickly. They often had to stand their ground and fight. So in that little bit there that I've just read, there are 2 things that explains why stegosauruses can't run. Okay, so you have a look, see if you can find them and pop them on that one. Oh, sorry, no, that one, you've got to circle one, haven't you? So read this and then read your 4 options on question 5 and see which one is the closest and circle your answer. Okay, question 6 then says, is this a fiction or a non-fiction text? Explain your answer. So for this one, I'm just quickly going to go over what non-fiction and fiction mean, and that will help you to answer it. So non-fiction then are real. So it's about real books that tell, form, teach and explain. So a maths book or a science book would be real. They are non-fiction. They're not made up. Fiction then are stories that have made up characters and events. So most storybooks, for example, Harry Potter would be fiction. It's made up. It's not real. Okay? So now have a really careful think about this text. What's it about? Is it real? If it is, then it's non-fiction. If you think it's not real and if you think it's made up, then it would be fiction. And then it says, explain your answer. Okay, so if you decide that you think it's non-fiction, you need to explain why you think it's non-fiction. Okay, so you could say, for example, I think it is non-fiction because it is real because, and then explain a little bit more. Or you could say, I think it is fiction because, but there is a right or a wrong answer for this one. Okay, so you've got to think really carefully which one you think it is. And then your last question says, do you think that the layout of this text is helpful? Explain your answer. This one, there isn't really a right or a wrong answer because this is a do you think question. So have a look at the layout. So they've put some, they've put 2 subheadings in. They've put some of them in bold. They've split it up into quite small paragraphs. Do you think all of that is helpful for the reader? But just make sure you explain why you think it's helpful for the reader. What does it help the reader to do? Okay, so that's your reading for today. If you have got the book with the submarine on the front, this one, then your next text is on page 8. And your learning question is, can I continue to answer both retrieval and inference questions? You've been doing an absolutely brilliant job on your retrieval and inference questions recently. I just think we need a little bit more practice before we move on to a new question type. Okay, so your next text then is page 8 and it's called Aliens at School. Oh, that sounds exciting, sounds funny. Let's have a look then. It says, an alien came to our school today. Its spaceship landed in the playground at lunchtime. It had 3 eyes, 2 arms, 4 legs and a green head with red spots on it. My friend Dom was the first person to notice it. He said hello to the alien, but I don't think it understood because it looked very confused. Soon, the rest of my class came over to have a look. When the alien saw all the children approaching, it jumped back into its spaceship and flew away. I think it was more scared of us than we were of it. Okay, question 1 says, fill in the missing words. So it says, the alien had something arms. So in there, you need to tell me how many arms it had, how many eyes, and how many legs. So you just need to pop a number in each of those using the text. So it's in that first paragraph in the text. It's in this part here, isn't it? Just above the picture. Okay, and then the alien's head was, what colour was the alien's head? You pop that in there, and then with something spots, what colour were the spots? So you need to put colours in those two. Question 2 then says, what did Don do that made the alien look confused? So I've snipped the bit of text that this part is in. It says, he said hello to the alien, but I don't think it understood because it looked very confused. So have a look at this first part. What did he do to the alien that made it look confused? Question 3 then says, copy a word from the text that means getting nearer. Okay, these word meaning ones are quite tricky. So I've snipped the part that it's in. So you've only got a small part of text to choose from. Let's have a look. It says, soon the rest of my class came over to have a look. When the alien saw all the children approaching, it jumped back into its spaceship and flew away. I think it was more scared of us than we were of it. So there's one word in this section that you could just take out and put getting nearer in its space and it would still make sense. Okay, so you have a go. See if you can figure out what word it is. If you think you figured it out, then maybe reread that part and put getting nearer in place of that word and see if it still makes sense. If it doesn't quite make sense, then it might be the wrong word. Okay, you have a go. And then your last one, question 4 says, why do you think the alien went back into its spaceship and flew away? Okay, so it's going to be right at the end. So I've skipped the last paragraph. Okay, so it says here, it jumped back into its spaceship and flew away. Have a look at this next bit. And I think that explains why the alien jumped in his spaceship and flew away. Okay, so have a look at the very last sentence for that one, and that will help you. Okay, so that's all of your literacy work for today. I really look forward to seeing some of your scavenger hunts for World Book Day, and I really hope I see some of you on the readathon throughout the day as well, enjoying some of the stories. So good luck with all of your literacy work. Don't forget to send me an email, and I will see you all tomorrow.